All right, what's up, guys? So I manage a team of 11 cold callers and 5 DM appointment setters, and I want to show you probably the only tracking sheet, SOP, end of day KPI tracking sheets that you guys are ever going to need. And I'm going to put the links to both of these templates in the bio, but I want to explain kind of how they work. So the first one I'll cover is the cold call one, and then the next one, which is very similar, I will cover the DM outreach tracking sheet. But this is not only beneficial if you have a team, but also if it's just yourself. So obviously, when I first started, I was following a very similar process to keep track of like what my numbers were, how much total volume I was doing, how many bookings I was getting, and what was the closes and revenue that came from those numbers, right? So if you manage a team, if you're an agency, you're a coach, consultant, whatever, then this is a pretty efficient tracking sheet that you can actually implement for your team. So the first one that I'll cover is the cold call one. If you want to skip to the DM setter, then just skip to the video. I'm not going to put a timestamp just because I'm a little lazy with editing. But the cold call sheet, the way that this works is we have our individual essential team members down here, right? So let's just say we have, these are the people who are on my team. Now this is a template, so there's not any data in here. You can just see basically how this works. Everyone on your team should have their own individual sheet like this where they have access, and at the end of the day, if they're making cold calls, they keep track of how many calls they made, how many conversations that they had, what was the pickup rate, what was the calls booked, the conversation to booked call, the pass-throughs if you're in an industry like mine with gatekeepers, and the pass-through percentage, and then obviously daily notes and things like that at the very end. Now, this is really nice because you can obviously keep track of who is doing what their numbers look like, but also at the very end, you can have a team master sheet. So all of the data is going to be pulled together. Now, as you can see, I have 10 people down here. So all the numbers are the same on each sheet, just so you could kind of get a sense of this. But Ali, 180, multiply that by 10, we have 1,000, we have 800. So you can see at every single day what your total volume is. And my favorite feature about this is the actual automation with the end of day KPI, or the end of day report, if you will. So each person's sheet has a metric that looks like this. Now today is January 25th, so I'm going to go to the 25th, and let's just say I made 100 calls. I talked to 50 people. Obviously, that's a 50% booking. Let's say I booked 10 calls from that. Why is this not doing that? I guess I need to update this for you guys beforehand. Oh, there it goes. It updated. And then the pass-through, let's just say, I don't know, 5 pass-throughs, and then that was the pass-through to booking rate. Now, at the end of the day, it automatically shows you what the total number is, and we have a Make. You can do this within make.com or Zapier, to where if you're using Slack or Discord for communication with your team, this can automatically be sent to you, the agency or business owner, so you know what that individual person's end of day numbers were. And you can also do the exact same thing for your team, right? So if I go to the 25th, and let's just like replicate Ali's numbers for this over here. I think that got everything. Yeah. So let's go ahead to Andrew's sheet. Let's find the 25th and then paste all that information there, and then go back to the team master sheet. So then it calculates and adds all that data up for you, and then it shows you the total volume for your team. So I have a team of 11 cold callers, so I can keep track of how many total calls we made that day, how many conversations we had, what our pickup rate was, our total calls booked, and every single metric that I really care about as a manager in this position, right? So that's really nice. The other feature that this has is a leaderboard. So I'm of the belief that especially if you manage a team, you should make challenges. You should make this engaging for them and encourage them to work hard and promote like hard work essentially within your company. So we have a leaderboard, and this is obviously, again, very automated. So this automatically calculates how many total calls each person has booked, right? So if I scroll down to the very bottom of this, each person's sheet also has this. What was their average calls made on a daily basis, their total, their essentially average and total of every single section here, which is super, super nice. And it also calculates that for a leaderboard. So you can see who's in first place. And obviously the way that we do things with our company is if you're leading the team for that month, you get a bonus, usually $1,000 or more for a bonus, right? We also have, I use GHL, so if you scrape data ever for a cold call team, for anything for that matter, I just built this feature in here as well, to where in this, if you scrape data from I don't know, instant data scrape or anything, and you have phone numbers that look like this, then you can just put their information in here, the business name, the city, the website, and then I have a little feature right here that just cleans the phone number up for you. So that way when you import it into CRM like Close or Go High Level in my example, then you don't have to worry about the phone numbers not being formatted properly. So that's the cold call sheet right there. That's essentially the high level overview of how to use it. Now, the next thing that I'll talk about is the DM sheet. Very, very similar, but it's a little bit different with some small nuances. So again, I have multiple people on my teams, not only doing cold calls, but also doing outreach on social media for us. So very, very similar. Every single person has their own sheet like this, whether it's Facebook or whether it's Instagram, right? We have both Facebook and Instagram. So every single person, and the way that I do this is typically every 30 days, we reevaluate our script. So that's why I have this built in here. Similar to the script before, if I scroll to the very bottom, it shows you the average and the total number of every single metric. So how many people were total contacted, pitches, and bookings, and then what was the average on a daily basis. That way you can kind of monitor your team and just make sure everybody's doing what they need to be doing. Same thing with the leaderboard. It's exact same thing there. One of the main differences here, I should say, is how this is set up. So you can customize this however you see fit, right? But since I do both Instagram and Facebook outreach, we can see how many total people on Instagram were contacted, how many pitches did we get out, how many bookings came from our pitch, and then the same thing for Facebook. So prospects contacted, total pitches, total bookings, and then total for both Facebook and Instagram for the day. Now, I also have built in here a script efficiency, which is a little bit more nuanced. I will probably take that out within the template. Unless you guys want me to make a video on that, then I can. But if you have different scripts that you're looking to test, you can essentially put that in here, and it's going to calculate, okay, we sent 100 pitches, this is how many bookings we got, this is what the efficiency rate was, right, based on left on red, total bookings, and then all that sort of jazz right there. So that's that. Similar to this, again, if I go to, let me just go to the second and show you this here. So let's do, typically every single person does around 300, let's just say 100, and then from that, let's just say 10 bookings normally, right? And then let's do Malu. So again, let's do 250 instead. Let's do like 50, and then let's just say like 3, right? So it's an odd number. And then if I go back to this sheet here, you can see, okay, right, 300 plus 250, 350, then 150, and then total volume. Same thing with Facebook. So this is what I followed for my own agency that's doing multiple six figures. So if you manage a team, or you're looking to build a team, or even if it's just you starting out, I recommend you follow something like this so you can keep yourself essentially accountable at the end of the day, right? Keeping track of things. And a lot of times when I've brought people onto my team, SDRs, appointment setters, you name it, they often forget to send the EOD KPI, or the report, the end of day report. How many people did we reach out to? What was our numbers and all that? This is really going to centralize it to make it convenient for you and your team. That way you can see all the data, and you can make sure you're not just guessing, you're not just spray and pray prospecting, because I don't recommend you do that. I recommend you actually look at the data, figure out your numbers, and then make calculated decisions on outreach, scripts, follow-ups, and things like that. So I will leave both of these templates in the description. Just click File, make a copy, and then customize it with however you need to. But as you can see, these come with the formulas already on there. If you have questions with the formulas, just maybe reach out to me. I can just shoot a loom over or provide some value to you guys. But hopefully this helps. Implement it and start making more money with your company.